How's it going, guys? Hopefully, can you hear me all right? You have to tell me in the chat. It's the first time I've done this. First time I really had set up in this place to do this. So you can tell me, make sure you can hear me. I definitely can't hear you, unfortunately. Let me know. Comments here. How's it going, Mohammed? Perhaps a weird time. Guys, how's it going? If you're just joining us, please feel free to let me know if you can hear me. Make sure this is working right. I haven't done this before. This is new. Okay, awesome. Good, because I cannot figure out how to adjust it, so I'm glad you can hear me. Where are you guys at? One of the things I wanted to get out of this is just figure out a little bit more about who my audience is here on YouTube. I have quite a range of kind of student audience, but I'm guessing probably who is joining here tonight. Let me know where you're at, where you're from, what you're up to. What, are you students studying, or are you actually in the Oilfield? Let me know. Let's see what I can do with questions. IPR curve. Okay, goodness, you are not being easy on me. So I don't. So I'm one of those that don't. So for me to tell you the specific details of an IPR curve, I would have to look it up myself, review it myself first. That's what I have to do before these videos happen. Really think through the strategy of teaching it, or sharing my general knowledge about it. But IPR, so my understanding pretty much on IPR curve is basically that's just the inflow performance ratio, right? So it's letting you see what kind of production you expect. I think what the pressure, right? Let me look that up real quick. Need to speak. Did not expect IPR curves tonight. Just refresh myself real quick. I have textbooks in the closet if we need to get that bad. So are you guys? I'm guessing you guys are students, so at least Muhammad is. Aaron Presley, final year petroleum engineering graduate. I am from Ireland. That's super cool. But studying in England. I didn't know. That's cool. I didn't know we had petroleum engineering in England. That's super cool. What school is that, Aaron? I'm curious now. I don't know too much about the international scene. Born and raised in Ohio. Well, basically born in Ohio. Raised in Ohio. So I haven't done too much travel, per se, at least internationally. University of Leeds, that's super cool. So you're from Ireland. Is there oil and gas in Ireland? I haven't really heard of that. that being a thing. Sorry, I'm distracted on my PR codes. I'm just looking that up real quick. I might have to get back up on a video of that, honestly. Okay, here we go. So Vogel, okay, it's coming back to me now. This is like 3 years ago now. 3 years ago. So it's correlating your flowing pressure and bottom hole pressure to like what rate you would get. And so that's kind of showing reservoir delivery. Yeah, what I can do, I can put together something on there, to be honest, and I can try to say what I'm thinking as I'm reviewing it right now, but I don't want to mislead you. But yeah, I can definitely, a big good video for me to do too, because I'm getting into the production realm. So I know, I'm not sure how much that all is used on a day-to-day basis, right? Because things are going to be a lot more complex, right? Water wells actually going to produce something way more complex than just what its IPR curve says. There's a lot more going on, especially like just surface facility-wise, right? Constraints and all that. So not a common degree in Ireland, Aaron says. That's I'm curious how people get into it if they're not around it. So I don't know if I've done a video on this or if this is anything that I've published, but so I kind of grew up around it. Basically numb to it. I didn't really care to learn much about it or anything like that. No, but I was all around it. It's all around where I grew up. And then basically kind of got into it whenever I got into high school, tried to figure out what I wanted to do, right? And then kind of figured engineering might be the way, and then shouted a couple different engineers, and that's what hooked me. And then from that on, the engineer I was studying took me on the rig. So that is what changed the game up for me. So that's how I got hooked. But yeah, so it's interesting to see here how everybody else kind of got on it. Very non, you know, from direct, right immediate area. Being around it. Okay, so offshore stuff. I feel bad. I'm like 0 for 2 right now. Offshore stuff is a whole other world to me. If it's not obvious through the video I just posted a couple weeks ago, literally told me the site. I don't know what all is required offshore in terms of certifications to go on. I would check, honestly, LinkedIn, where I go for questions like that. If I don't know someone personally, I'll literally ask them on LinkedIn. People seem to know what's going on there. So I don't have I don't have an answer for that. Sorry. You guys are coming at me hard tonight. Yeah, so yeah, so I don't know. I actually have some friends who did some offshore stuff. That's some people I would ask. Yeah. We've actually had a couple of guests that no, we've just been planning. Yeah, so offshore is a realm to me that's untouched too, for the most part. There's some basic level stuff on offshore. So one of those things too, it might always be changing in terms of requirements. I figure honestly too that would maybe depend on the company you're looking for, what they would require. I mean, it's just like if it's anything like working on shore, right? Some operators will require safe land or rig pass or something like that, contractor operator side, and some don't. Some have their own versions or whatever. Some don't care. So I'd say it's probably the same, but I honestly don't know. How does employment look at the moment for employment doing students in the States? So what are you just becoming a student, or are you about to graduate? That probably changes things a little bit. So 4 years out versus May is going to be different. One thing I noticed just in general, it seems that the students that come in on really good times graduate in poor times, and vice versa. That is something I've noticed on people at Marietta or can say the same thing. Right now, so I know that companies right now, there have been some layoffs. So in Appalachia region, there's been some that are primarily going for natural gas. Natural gas prices are not too hot right now. Oil is not crazy hot. It's been relatively stable for the last months, right? But so I'd say right now, it kind of depends on what position you're looking for. You might have it kind of depends. Some operators are cutting back, some not. The operator I work for, I'm not say the name. You can totally look it up. They just got bought out, so we're not really hiring. And so the interns that we had are not getting hired for full-time offers. So it's a little tough right now. And kind of ambiguous as to exactly why. Some of it goes back to my company situation is different, but other companies, some that are more affected by the gas price, something like that. So if you're just now becoming a student, it's hard to tell, honestly, how it's going to look whenever you go to graduate. Internship wise, again, it's just going to vary summer to summer. So honestly, like, don't fret out about it too much. Go into petroleum engineering if it's something that you're passionate about. This is one of my pet peeves in school. There's a lot of people there who are in it for the money, and if you're just in it for the money, you probably won't end up with a job in bad times. If you're graduating in bad time, if that's your driving force, then people can see someone who's very passionate about it and has that skill set and that just you'll see it in their resume that they're passionate for it, and those are probably people who have a better likelihood of getting jobs in a hard time. So you can't worry all the time about what your job is going to be the next year or the next year when you graduate or something like that. Just be a good student now. Stand out. And we're going to talk about lots of ways. I just published a video on advice for college students, so you can hit that up. I mentioned a handful of ways you can kind of stand out. So don't go through life worrying about jobs, guys. I mean, it's going to be a cycle. So, and I'm right there with you. New hire, right? So you feel vulnerable, but okay, where am I at on the list? And you can tell me if I didn't answer your question, what you're going forward. But what are the technical knowledge you need to become a here? So again, a lot of things, guys, are company dependent. So I mean, typically most drilling engineers are going to have a petroleum engineering degree. So I assume you guys know that. I assume you do that when you ask the question. So I won't stop there. But so obviously the degree. And technical knowledge, I would say a lot of it honestly is so you're hired for a position typically, and then you are basically trained up with the knowledge you need to do the job. So, like, I don't know the IPR curve question right off the top of my head, right? So, but I'm basically becoming a production engineer. So I'm on track. So I'm kind of in training right now. But so I'm basically on track to become a petroleum production engineer. But just because I don't have to necessarily know IPR curves by heart, right? So school basically says, hey, this guy can know how to, or girl can know how to learn, right? They know how to learn. They're teachable, and you'll learn all the specific things on the job or by the hands of your employer. So specifically to the drilling engineering, it's a lot of on-the-job training, learning from other engineers when you first come on. Maybe your employer will send you to a couple courses, live courses, and you'll get some of the knowledge that you need there. If you're working on something super technical that others haven't done, again, you'll probably be sent to an expert or some group that has that material that you would need. So honestly, you just need the job. You need to get the job, and then the technical knowledge stuff you'll get through the hands of your employer. Obviously, in the vast majority of cases, if you're being hired on as maybe a contractor, be a little different. Like you wouldn't go into being a consultant, right? So if you're going to be a consultant, you have to have like the knowledge to do the job, right? But if you're coming on and you're like an operator or something, they're going to teach you what you need to know or give you the tools, and then you'll have the tools to learn. Right? So you don't have to. It's not like you need a checklist and have to know how to do all these things, right? Because you're not going to know. They're probably going to use different software. Even if you learn software in school, they're probably going to use different software. Everything is going to be different. So that's why in school we don't get so technical and specific things. So we learn the academic spectrum, right, of the respective topic, and then all the job specific stuff is done on the job. What software were you still doing? All these drilling questions. So I know Halliburton has, I think it's Landmark. That's one of them I've heard a lot. I'm actually working on, I have notes here on my desk. Working with a company right now. One of you guys requested, not one of you guys specifically, but one of my followers, I guess, asked if we would do some videos on kind of like the design flow of drilling engineers or designing a well, the programs that you use. So a lot of it's going to be like torque and drag modeling is one of the biggest things, right? In terms of actual operations, like especially running casing, or if you're drilling long lateral, and this might be different offshore or international, really not so much doing on land and stuff. I'm not sure they would still be torque and drag, but it might not be as huge of a part of it. But so I mean, I know Halliburton Landmark is one I've definitely heard a lot of. I've been around drilling operations, but I haven't like done the design work for it. I've seen some of it being done, but not done it firsthand. So I just know a few of the basic things. So Halliburton Landmark is one of the things. But again, we're working on a video with that kind of topic. So so hopefully we get some better answers in that video when it comes up. We're actually working with, we probably won't do I probably won't do the video, but it'll be like through my hands of the videos done. So we're working with a company that specializes in drilling and all that. It's going to do it for us. So. Ooh, interesting. Okay, electric vehicles, cool. Okay, so that's something that, Ohio I didn't see too much about. So whenever I moved to Colorado, I see a lot more of this. So electric vehicles. This would be like a Mark McCord question. I was still giving answers, but if you guys haven't listened, there's Oil and Gas This Week podcast. He's the host of that. I'm sure he gives a really good answer to this. But I would think so. I mean, obviously, so electric vehicles, typically electricity, at least here in the States now, the largest source for electric energy here in the United States now is natural gas. I think that happened a year or two ago. That switched from like coal, I think was the primary one. So if we're switching to electric vehicles, obviously we're going to have more of an electricity demand, which will probably be supplemented by natural gas. And windmills aren't going to be able to cover that. So I would imagine, I mean, depending on how fast this would happen and stuff, but like if you are doing a bunch of electric vehicles, right, demand goes up for natural gas, I would say our prices are going to come out of $2, but which would be good for operators for sure. And then we feel really stupid for flaring all the gas in Texas and North Dakota. So that's a little pet peeve of mine. Do that. I mean, I get why we do it, but little frustrating. But in terms of oils, I mean, if it's a mass change, right, to electric vehicles, then I mean, obviously we'll be using as much oil for vehicles. But so whenever people talk about electric vehicles and stuff, like I'm not at all against electric vehicles. I think they're cool. The concern for me in electric vehicles is, I think, this is probably most people, I guess, who are knowing about it, would be the mining of the elements that you need for those big batteries, and then just some of the practical stuff, like okay, how people refueling, how do you go out that infrastructure? If you're on a long road trip, can you swap out batteries, kind of thing? Instead of going to like the filling station, the gas station, right? Can you like swap batteries and keep driving on electric? There's a lot of questions in terms of rollout, but in terms of overall effect in the industry, I don't think it would be huge. I mean, if literally everybody switches from petroleum, liquid petroleum, so gasoline, right, or whatever you guys call it. Some like in Mexico, you got like petrol or something like that, right? So gasoline to electric, then it might have a little bit of effect. Maybe companies will switch their focus to natural gas. I don't know, but it's not something I worry about. So it's kind of a hard question, like how specifically it would affect it, right? But it's not something that I worry about. So hopefully that sheds some light. Is it necessary to get a master's degree in this program? No. But it depends on what you're doing. So honestly, it kind of goes back to a comment I made earlier about, being a petroleum engineer, do petroleum engineering if you're passionate about it. If you're passionate about it, what are you passionate about? Is it the operation side of things? Is it the reservoir stuff? Is it research? So if it's more the research line, if you're wanting to go into research or very, very technical work, then that's kind of where I've seen it being used. And I think it's more so even the PhD. Don't quote me on that one. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is just a master's, but just further than a bachelor's, right? So that's from everything that I've heard about. Really, is more beyond the normal petroleum engineer's role. So if you're going into research, that would be more appropriate, but it's not necessary. At least not in the United States. I don't know about some. I don't know what all come. I don't know. Honestly, your guys' situation. If you guys are from the Middle East or planning on working there, I know things are different. I know you guys got national oil companies. I know you guys got sponsorships, and everything's different. So I can't speak to what is done here, but in the U.S., you don't get to be a petroleum engineer. What are the opening available for fresh grads? So what do you mean by? I guess I have you spell out a little bit more. What do you mean by openings available for freshman graduates? Oh, fresh graduates. Okay, so someone just coming out of school. What do you mean? I assume. So in terms of openings, I mean, like I said earlier on, right now in some parts of the country, in certain companies, they're not hiring as much as previously. So 2015, 2016 crash, right? So definitely not very many people got jobs then. Then we kind of just become comfortable with the lower oil level, right? Kind of figure out how to make it work. We'll start staffing up a little bit more. The last couple of years were pretty good on recruiting from the college perspective. This coming May, I think it'll be a little bit harder for people, but it honestly depends. I mean, we got a lot of a good handful of months yet between now and May, but in terms of companies right now, I mean, there's still a lot of companies recruiting, but some are not. But that's all I have to do. So it just depends on what position the company's in right now financially. But I wouldn't be crazy concerned. Like I said, just stay down, be passionate about it, and that might not be an end all be all, right? But that's definitely going to help you. If it kind of comes to, are you looking to get it with an operator or a contractor? Don't be afraid of the contractor side of that. I know multiple grads at Marietta that graduated years before me, and even this past May, right, that are working for contractors, and they got a pretty good lifestyle too. They get paid well. It kind of depends on the lifestyle too. Contractors typically, I mean, if you're working for a contractor, I mean, depends on what you're doing, but typically you're going to be involved with more than one operator in terms of you're supporting them probably as a contractor, and then also, sorry, I can go reading that. Anyways, don't be afraid of the contractor side of things as well as getting at. So sometimes it seems like it's harder to get on with an operator because again, that's kind of where everything starts and ends in a sense. Like the operators are the ones that are drilling the wells, right? So if they're not drilling the wells, then it kind of trickles down. But and anyways, so don't be afraid of the contractor side. If you're having, if not too many operators are coming recruiting, or seem like you can't get too many personal and stuff. But one thing I'll stress, and I stressed this in the video that I just posted about advice, think more about the method that you're using to get a job. I don't waste, I mean, whenever this was my scenario, I don't waste much time with online applications. They're helpful in a sense, they kind of give you an idea of who's hiring and stuff, but don't waste too much energy on that. Try to make the personal connections, showcase yourself in terms of that you're passionate about this, that you're good, so reach out to people individually, network with people, use LinkedIn a lot. Yeah. Did it drill well and offshore while hurricane? Okay, or tornado. So tornado wouldn't happen offshore, but I assume you're talking about onshore for tornadoes. So offshore, my understanding is that they will disconnect and get off the well. I'm sure there's probably some threshold, right? I mean, this one is super expensive. It's gonna you have to figure out when you can stop, right? If you're drilling, you're 20,000 feet down or something like that. I mean, it's not going to be in 2 hours, right? You just pull out of the hole and disconnect. So there's a lot of stuff that go into that. But I do know that whenever there's storms, I mean, there's entire teams that monitor weather, and like specifically Gulf of Mexico is the one thing I'm sure even it's offshore in general. So if it's going to hit, so if they're drilling and stuff, yeah. So that would definitely come into play. I know that definitely in big hurricanes, they'll get out of there. They'll move off the well. It would be super dangerous, right? And there's I mean the technology and stuff like the DPS system, the positioning systems on the if it's like a drill ship or whatever, like they'll do good, but we're just risk it, right? What if it goes wrong and it's another Macondo? It's not worth the risk. So yes, they get out of there. Tornado wise, that's a way quicker of an event. Hurricane you can see forming. And I guess you can tornado too, right? But the magnitude of you're talking out, minutes or versus days potentially with a hurricane. So tornado, I would guess they're super bad. They just get off the rig, shut in the well. Although they're not going to be able to disconnect. They're not going to be able to pull out any of the hole. But so they literally probably. I would imagine if tornado's heading for your rig, you'd shut in and take cover. Just try and keep the well. Isolate the well and probably get out of the way. That's a good question. I don't really ran into that. I know they shut down on lightning, so they definitely would stop operation. Will this video be available? I haven't decided honestly. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure how it works honestly. This is the first live video I've done, so I assume I'll have the option to but we'll see. I guess you can share your opinion on whether it should or not. What courses I find very challenging or difficult? It's a good question. And it's going to be different for everybody too. Honestly, I don't know if a lot of it's challenging, right? But you're going into petroleum engineering, you probably got the brain capacity to overcome those challenges, right? So to me, it's kind of more of like, okay, well, which ones do I like? It's like more. The ones I really didn't like, it's like physics. But honestly, a lot of it comes down to professors. So it's not always the subject matter, and I'd say that's pretty much what swung me, whether I like the course or didn't like it, or the professor, or the subject matter. So for me, the ones I hated were physics and thermodynamics, and again, then we're back to the professor. Sorry, professors. Assume they're not watching this video, but I guess it's fair if you are. Anyways, so those are the ones that I didn't like. In general, the ones I had a harder time with were, again, so if I didn't like the professor or if the professor wasn't a very good teacher, because I'm one that's like, I don't learn from a textbook very well, so I will learn off, the lecture, talking to the professor after class or whatever, or online resources. That's why one of the things I say in the video, the advice video I just posted a couple days ago was be resourceful, use your resources. I don't learn from textbook very well. I can reference it and stuff. I'm not going to. Very few times I would sit down and read a textbook. I'm kind of proud of myself in that. That is not how I learned. So the courses that were kind of set up that way, I would have struggled more if it was very textbook dependent. But a lot of times I figured it out. You just use friends, right? If what you don't get, they probably will get. And when you get it, you can share it with them. And so use your friends. And that's one of the pieces of advice I put in the video. So thermo and physics. Phase was kind of hard. So phase behavior, petroleum, hydrocarbon phase behavior was kind of difficult at first, but that was a question to the professor. It actually probably ended up being one of my favorite classes just because it's so, you can see it in everyday life. It just makes a lot of sense. Ooh, okay. So we got somebody who's not, so it's not all students here. All right, so he asks, do you have any advice for experience to share for flowback operators? So I have not done flowback, graduated, so now I would sit on the operator side, which is one thing that honestly, like I don't say I regret it, but I would have liked to have had some portion of maybe throughout college or something, an internship or through school intern, like during the school year internship or something like that with an operator or a contractor, just to kind of get their a firsthand feel of that side of the industry. I definitely not plenty of contractors, but it's actually have worked as a contractor for a period of time. So general advice. I mean, I guess what are you talking about in terms of are you trying to give it an operator? Are you trying to learn more about how flowback is working, like the purpose it's serving, or some of the functions of it? I assume you know all the equipment and stuff out there for flowback. I know that there are Facebook groups for sure. So I mean, if you're trying to figure out like how to tap into people who have a lot of knowledge, if you're trying to learn how to grow as a flowback operator and to grow professionally, I mean, there's plenty of people you can reach out to. There's entire Facebook groups on flowback. I actually found it. They let me in. I wasn't having been a flowback operator. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of specify a little bit more if you have someone specifically looking for on that. Advice-wise and experience-wise, I've definitely been out there on location and been doing it a couple of times. But that by no means makes me a pro on it, as with like all of these topics. literally all the videos and stuff that I do, like I'm never a pro or know-it-all on any of these topics, and none of us are know-it-alls. Might be a few people who think that, definitely none of us know. What I'm trying to do is just help share, some of the pieces of everything I learned, just give people resources, right? Because nothing exists, right? So it's one thing to say, okay, well, I talk you through, what flowback is doing, and what you guys are going to do out there as an operator, and some of the responsibilities and stuff you might have. It's another thing to tell you how to progress your career on it. So if you have something specific you're getting at, let me know. Yeah, I think I pretty much caught up to your questions, guys. So throw in some more. I'll do this for a little longer. Oh, here we go. All right. So, what parts of the states would you say presents the most best opportunities for living in that? Fun question. I mean, so definitely Texas in terms of getting a job. I'd say that probably one of the easier, more just because it's always so it's the busiest, right? It's no secret it's been the busiest for a long time, or for, I don't know, all my college career for sure. So at least last 4 or 5 years or whatever. So Permian Basin, so Midland, Odessa area definitely has a lot of stuff going on right now. To me, it sounds like you can go down there and get a job doing something. I mean, it may not be the high-paying, if you're a petroleum engineering student, it might not be what you think you might deserve for someone coming into school, but you don't get a lot of experience. So you can definitely get a job down there. It sounds like pretty easy and quick. Also in Texas is Eagleford. So West Texas is Permian. South Texas is more Eagleford. It kind of spans the coast a little bit, not quite all the way coast, but the South Texas, you got Eagleford. That I think that's kind of had a little bit of swings in terms of activity levels. When I was down there a couple summers ago, it was going pretty good. And I think the summer afterwards they ramped it up a little bit. So it depends on the I don't know overall level of the Eagleford, but that should still be in a decent position. So I guess the basins you could kind of split up into companies targeting oil, companies targeting gas. So, and obviously if you're getting oil, you're going to get some gas with it too, but they're targeting oil. So that's the Texas basin. So Permian and Eagleford. Gas would be Haynesville. I've heard some companies are slowing down there. So again, gas region right now, gas hasn't been high for a good while. Even over the winter, it didn't really get all that high. So there's just so much. Literally, you get natural gas with all these wells, even oil wells. So you're to the point in Texas where they don't have the takeaway capacity. So that's why you see some of the flaring and stuff with more long term. So So definitely, so Appalachia, so Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, still relatively active. Colorado still relatively active. I guess there's still activity going on in North Dakota, in Barnett. Shoot, what's the it's on the tip of my tongue. The one in North Dakota, Bakken. There we go, the Bakken. You know what? Barnett's Texas, but Bakken. So there's still some activity there. So Bakken, Colorado, Wyoming, Texas, California. Those are going to be a lot of those. There are for oil. Activities for oil, and then Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Louisiana. Those are going to be your big gas plays. And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because of commodity pricing. So if you're asking where's going to be a good place to get it right now, oil is being targeted more than the gas. So I would say oil plays you'll get a job easier. But at the same time, if you get my only hesitation with Midland, that's like everybody there. So if something goes downhill price-wise, you have a lot more people you're competing with. You might have a hard time staying out. But at the same time, there's so many people operating there that if one company shuts down operations, it's not going to have as much of an effect on the entire basin like it would here in Colorado or Ohio or something like that, where there's fewer people playing the game. So there's still plenty of conventional operations going on around the U.S., especially. It sounds like definitely it's like Louisiana and those states around there, a lot of conventional stuff. So maybe that's more stable. I don't know. There's going to be fewer jobs there, conventional stuff. Maybe not pay as well. I don't know. Hopefully that kind of gives you some. Hopefully that kind of answers your question. Most drilling engineers for companies like Chevron are mechanical engineers. Really? It's interesting. Why is this so when they're applying to do it? So that wouldn't have been my impression. But then again, I haven't worked for Chevron. I have plenty of friends that do, and that wasn't the assumption that I got. So everybody I knew of at Chevron. Literally every drilling engineer I know is petroleum. So that could be the group you're exposed to. I don't know if you interned there or there were recruiters from Chevron or something that come to your school or whatever. So it's a hard question to be answered. I guess so. Like I said, I haven't known a mechanical engineer. I've definitely known a lot of chemical engineers to do other things, especially production or midstream kind of roles. Mechanical, I mean, my only intuition is to so if not a petroleum engineer for drilling, I would say mechanical probably would be the next logical, just because if you think about mechanical, I mean, just by name, right? You're going to have a greater understanding of a lot of the physics, and probably if you're dividing up which parts of production or petroleum engineering will have physics in it, most of that's probably going to be drilling. So drilling, so you just have a lot of similarities. I would think like torque and drag is huge in drilling, especially right now with the shale wells and the laterals and all that. So, I just did a video or a podcast on extended reach wells. I think that's next week's episode. We talk about that a good bit. So, a lot of those topics are more mechanical just by nature. So, literally, think about everything from torque and pipe, specifications of piping systems, the torque and drag, right, as you're drilling, and then getting all that way out. There'd be some chemical applications in a sense because of the mud, right, of drilling. So, chemical engineering guys could probably excel on that. But mechanical, I would say, we just have a lot of the basic knowledge. But think about just all the moving parts you have on the rig, and just all the systems, like the rotary system, literally everything, basically mechanical. Torque, right? You're converting to the top drive or I guess if you're going with the Kelly still. But I mean, it's all very, very mechanical. So that'd be my guess. But I would say that's probably not their first preference. Yeah, I don't know specifically to what group you're talking about. The other thing you got to realize too, guys, is think about it from a company perspective. If you are hiring, and this you can see this play out in recruiting, campus recruiting, which campuses schools that companies choose to come recruit at, as well as the disciplines that they take. So whether they'll throw in some chemical engineers, they'll throw in some mechanical engineers, right? Because everybody's going to bring something different to the table. So if you literally have all petroleum engineers, they're going to be educated in many similar ways. So it's going to be harder to have unique ideas, I guess. So if you're bringing in people with different perspectives, you're going to not have that problem. Same thing with different schools, but if you recruited at one school, you're going to have a more uniform workforce and maybe kind of inhibit some innovation. Views on fracking. That's pretty broad. Are you talking about like moral views? I assume that's what we're talking about. And so I'll make a couple assumptions before we start this. So I'm assuming you're, actually, I think you said earlier, you're a student, right? Yes, okay, so you're an alien. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this is making sense now. So you probably don't have fracking going on there. So the American media seem to have an agenda against it. Whether it's actually an agenda or whether it's just a basic lack of understanding about it, there's definitely a disconnect there. So fracking in and of itself, I mean, so one of the first things we got to realize about oil and gas guys, no, you're fine. No, you're not being ignorant about it. So one of the first things you got to realize about oil and gas guys, it's an industrial activity. Okay. Same with literally everything else. Literally every other industry, right? So there are going to be cases in which things don't work perfectly. Okay, so we have to realize that, and then when those things happen, we figure out, okay, why did this happen? Right? You investigate. Okay, airline travel, right? Just because a couple airplanes crashed doesn't mean that airplane travel needs to be. Figure it out, engineer it out. I.e., engineers. Okay, that's one of our jobs. One of our first and foremost jobs is to engineer out safety risks, right? Also environmental risks. Okay? We do that. That's like top of our job description, basically. Okay, so you got to realize that things are always going to happen somehow, somewhere along the way. Okay, so now let's talk about fracking itself. Okay, and I'm not justifying that we should be okay with things happening. It's an absolute pleasure thing. What I'm getting at with fracking, if you look at if you actually study it, so completion engineering courses or something like that, you actually study some of the rock mechanics and what's happening. First off, it's happening. I'm talking shale applications. Okay, so most, and which is where all the media, where all of the buzz about fracking comes from, is whenever we transition from using fracturing, because hydraulic fracturing has been around for a long time. I think like 60 years or something like that. I have a shirt that kind of says it, but it's nothing new. But what is new about it is the application. So whenever you have a conventional well, sometimes they frack it. They frack it for different reasons. They frack it for different reasons than what we do at shale well. So shale well, you're looking at a formation that's it has porosity, right? So there's oil and gas down there, but it doesn't flow through it very well. So the permeability of the formation is very low. Okay, so the reason we do hydraulic fracturing is to literally induce fractures in the rock. Okay, fractures we're talking about are literally like hairs. They're not big at all. Okay. So I mean, it'll be bigger towards the well, and then but you're creating a dense fracture network around the well, so you're literally allowing that trapped gas to flow into the well. Okay, this is happening. A lot of the shale plays are like 7-ish thousand feet vertically deep, and or beyond. Haynesville is even deeper than that. So a lot of the shale plays, 7,000 seems to be a good rule of thumb. I'm not too sure about but okay, so first off, you're applying a ton of pressure, right? So you're inducing the fractures. It's happening downhole. There's a ton of monitoring and stuff that we do. We don't do it on every single well because it's super expensive, but just, by first off how wells interfere with each other and stuff, it's pretty well understood. Where our fractures are going, how wide. So from the well out, you might be talking a couple hundred feet. 4 to 1,200 feet could be more. It depends on the size of your frac job, but you only want to go out so far. Okay, when we talk, and they definitely do propagate upwards. a little bit. I mean, it depends all on the rock stress. Okay, so there's so much science in all this. I'm not going to get into it too much, but one of the things that I've been told about the people who worry about it going up to groundwater. So that's one. So let's start addressing the concerns, I guess. So groundwater contamination is one of the things. Groundwater contamination is, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on site, either on the rig, on the completions, when they're fracturing. It's going to happen on site. So it's going to be like right near the wellbore. Okay, if anything ever would get to surface from hydraulic fracturing itself, it's going to either be because it hit a fault. Okay, faults are incredibly natural; they're all over the place. So, like an unknown fault that communicated service, or what can happen, it can communicate up to a shallower reservoir and then cause issues. Or if you had some kind of like cement integrity, or you had a microannulus where it could travel water. So, is there going to be cases of that ever happening? Yeah, they're happening. Is it the media and stuff and what you're talking about? I think it's not going to happen all the time. It doesn't really happen all the time. Like, I think like everybody, people in the oil and gas industry are pretty good guys, right? So we're moral creatures. Like we all live typically in the area that we work. So if we were literally doing this, if this was common practice that we were contaminating it, hydraulic fracturing is doing all of these things, and then I don't think we'd have near as many people working in the oil and gas industry. We have an issue with it. But in terms of, so the other things that people talk about, air quality and stuff. So whenever you're doing the frac job, you have a lot of horsepower on site. So you have a lot of big diesel engines, or some are switching using natural gas fleets. But either way, you got big engines pumping the fluid down. You do have emissions there. That's but compared to, I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, it's an industrial activity, right? So you're going to have emissions in the area between industry. The thing where the media goes crazy is they literally lump everything as fracking. So if there's a pad fire, or if a water truck runs off the road and spills water and has a wreck or something, if there's a fire or a blowout on a drilling rig, literally everything is fracking. Okay, that's a frack well, that's a fracking well, that is a frack tower. That's what they think drilling rigs are out here. Literally everything is fracking. So when anything goes wrong in our industry, it's viewed as fracking. So don't be afraid of the technology or what we're doing. Like fracturing in and of itself is not. Hopefully, I didn't make it sound like it's this terrible thing. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, never say never, basically. So you never say something won't happen. But there's so much science, guys, behind what we do. Literally every single phase of it, drilling, completion, fracking, production. Literally, we had. I don't know how many discussions I've had just in the last couple of weeks of literally getting down to the exact science on why a piece of a separator is a particular height, or a pressure vessel, or why we have this. Literally, there's so much reasoning, so much science behind things. It's pretty crazy. So we know what we're doing. And the government, so the people who are smart with doing regulations stuff, they know what we're doing as well. They have to react to public opposition, right? To public elected officials in some cases, right? But it's very incredibly scientific what we do. There are definitely ways that can go wrong, but don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of it. And if you have specific questions, I can refer to them. If you guys have better ways to answer, feel free to jump back into that too. And there's actually, I'd like to do some videos and get my thoughts together a little bit better, how to lay it out a little better, and maybe do some videos together. If people are sharing, I think it would maybe call that or something. Just to, because people hear about all these things associated with fracking, right? Because it's the blanket word for the entire industry, and then so they begin to fear the industry, and they just don't understand the science, and so that's probably the best way to sum it up. Hopefully that helped your question. Like I said, don't be afraid of fracking. If you have other specific questions, please ask. That's such a huge topic. I didn't know quite where to all go with that. I try to be honest in order to. After employment engineering, I don't get employed to be a drilling production engineer or others. Is there any other thing I can do in the oil and gas sector like that? So for sure, banking and finance industry definitely. I've seen them hire petroleum engineers. Also, there's midstream, there's downstream. So downstream is going to be more stable, I guess. So upstream really feels the price difference is commodity, so you get the swings. Downstream, I mean, you have changes of gas prices, right? But it doesn't really, the downstream and midstream markets are not near as affected. So I would try to, if you have an interest in that, check one of those sectors out. Midstream takes a while to build out. So even in downturn and stuff, so they're more directly influenced by upstream activity, but still the timeline and stuff in which they build the pipelines, build the infrastructure, that's more of a kind of viewed as long-term investment and stuff. So that's not as quickly affected on the downturn and stuff. But they would be more stable. Also paid very well, by the way. Some of these guys in midstream, his field conditions and stuff. Downstream, like I said, more stable. So definitely jobs even within our own industry, just other sectors of it. And then on the other industries, so for sure, banking, finance would be one of the biggest. You go to other engineering firms. Remember, guys, as a petroleum engineer, you're still an engineer. You're a specialized engineer, but you can still math. You know what I mean? Like you still have a lot of the same tools. You might just not have all the exact same background as like a civil engineer or something. But you can learn that kind of stuff. So don't be afraid to apply for other industries if that's what it comes to, or if that's where you're passionate about, guys. If you graduate and you find out you're not passionate about petroleum, don't hesitate to go to, like, if it's civil, don't hesitate to try it. If you're passionate about it, imagine that would come out in the interviews and stuff that you have with the potential employer, whoever you're interviewing with. So, yeah. But like I said, don't get have a little bit of game plan, especially if you start getting towards like your graduation date or whatever, and you're not really having a real strong lead. But if you're just coming in as a freshman, don't spend all 4 years worrying, guys. It's not. Don't need to worry about it that much. But have a plan. Definitely have a plan. And make like network all the way through your career, through college, and you'll be better off than others who haven't. I'll at least say that. Any other questions, guys? Are there any topics that you guys would like to see? And I assume that most of you guys have seen like been students, except for flowback operator. It was cool to have him. Do you guys have any specific topics? Anything I can help you out? Whether it's IPR curves, evidently is one, or if it's something more just kind of like this kind of stuff, like figuring out what should be my ideal package. How should I approach getting a job? If it's coming May or graduation date, you don't have it lined up yet. So if it's that kind of stuff, I definitely do those. How to do this? I mean, I did all kinds of questions. I really take this channel however I want. Trying to do more with companies in the future as well, but that's kind of an ongoing thing. I can pop out a video pretty quick. Got a little list of the wall of videos I want to do. I'll add IPR curves because, and it's not just IPR curves, also like two performance codes. So that's actually improving your performance pretty well. Also, it's not just IPR curves. But like I said, there's so much. And I guess keep this in mind, you guys, as you're in school. There's so much that's taught, and the real world is very different. I mean, whenever you can learn all about how to specifically size a separator, right? But the real world, if the operator isn't trained on how to do it, optimize it well. If you don't know how to optimize the system, the midstream is real high pressured. If you have issues with your equipment wearing out, if you have issues with erosion, if you have issues with literally all these things, there's so many things that will help or hinder performance of a well. So it's not just not record. That kind of helps you know what your best case scenario would be, and you can strive to get to that. So I guess as a production engineer, if you hit your IPR curve, you've done very well. So theoretically, you shouldn't really have too much more to optimize. Move on to the next well. Have you always kind of worked with petroleum engineers? Do you have any other considerations? So Oh, definitely. As I was young, when I was growing up, through high school and stuff, the year before high school, I definitely had. I changed my mind every couple of years. I wanted to be an architect, wanted to be a school teacher, wanted to be a school bus driver. That was my first thing. When I was a super small kid. I wanted to be a school bus driver. So I definitely changed mindset. So I think you pretty much just figure out what you're good at, and where your interests lie. Don't forget that part, guys. And I guess that's preached a lot in modern culture, like do what you love, right? But also think about you need to make sure that it financially supports the lifestyle that you want. So if you're talking about being a street performer for the rest of your life, if that's really what you like, if you can make it work, go for it. But there's got to be some balance there. So you see people going to college and they get to read that they might not get a job in. I mean, you do the same in petroleum though too. But if they get a job in, it maybe only pays below what you would actually want to live on. So just be smart about everything. I definitely changed my mind a couple times, but once I kind of figured out I want to do engineering, shadow. Once you kind of get to the point where you need to decide shadow. Not really shadow. Well, you can't really overshadow. If you like for me, I shadowed a petroleum engineer, and then I shadowed at least another one or two. Actually, yeah. So I shadowed multiple. So don't just do one because it's going to be different in every company. It's going to be different in every position. It's going to be different in every background. It's going to like literally get out there. See as much as you can. You'll learn a ton too. I learned honestly most of what I know. I'm not saying it's a ton or anything like that, but most of what I've learned has been not from college. Just leave it at that. So I started doing petroleum engineering when I shadowed in high school. Shadowed a couple of different types of engineers, and then shadowed petroleum engineering. Took me on a rig, and I got hooked. So that's how that happened. Thank you for the question. No, thank you guys. These have been pretty good questions. I feel like I could have addressed the fracking question a little better. It's just such a big topic, honestly. I'd love to hear. I kind of hated this as a one-way. If you could have responded, I feel like I would have had a better, more precise answer of what you're looking for. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Yeah, so I kind of wish this was all like a big group chat, video chat. Maybe we can do that. I don't know. See how engaged you guys are, and we'll do more of these. But anything else, guys? I've been on for 53 minutes, so I'll go until you guys don't have questions, or until about 60-minute mark. I'll get off and work on some other things. But let me know if you have any other questions. Nothing really off on the thing. Really new deal. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I feel like you follow the American media more than I definitely see a lot of stuff, but I don't really follow. I'm aware of big picture general politics, what's going on, but I try not to get too caught up in all the day-to-day stuff. Because honestly, it just adds so much stress. And honestly, you can read one source and think you have that perspective, and you just never know if you're getting all the full picture. It's just like fracking, right? So what would people believe, right? What would people think about fracking if this is the thing that they see? They don't see what the industry does good. They don't, it's not national headlines or local headlines, right? When our emissions overall as a country have gone down largely because of the transition to natural gas, fracked gas, right? So you don't see all that good stuff. So it's hard enough you're getting all the perspectives. So I don't follow it too much, but Green New Deal, I know who that's coming from. I wouldn't pay too much attention to what she says besides for entertainment, if that's how you're entertaining. I wouldn't really too much. There's no way that's something we need to do. It's going to it's still plenty of people in America with a brain on their head. It's kind of one of those things too. I've been thinking about this a lot, especially in Colorado and stuff. It's like people think that we can just shut off the oil and gas industry and be fine. It's one of those things. It's like your cell phone. Like you look at your cell phone literally every day, right? And suddenly you think, okay, well, Apple's going to shut down all their plants in China or wherever they're building, right? Because of some maybe something leaked out of the factory, whatever. We don't shut it down. I feel like we would have people would freak out about that. The thought of that, like they can comprehend that, like, oh, I can't live with my phone, without my phone. But when we start talking about natural gas, like, we got windmills, right? We can't. No, no, that's not going to fly. So there's so much stuff that's made out of oil behind it. So, and one of the things, at least my mindset, I'm not at all, and a lot of people are like this, we're not against transitioning. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think it should be encouraged because oil and natural gas is a non-renewable, right? So we're eventually going to, we're never going to get every dropout, right? But we're going to reach a point where it's uneconomical, where it's just incredibly expensive, right, to get what's left, right? If we literally just kept on using it at our current pace. So if we're not transitioning, we're going to be bit later on. Whether you think it's going to be through global warming or just straight out lack of supply, which would be the case probably. Whenever you talk about suddenly transitioning off of it, you look about how much oil, natural gas, how much of all of our energy comes from that you can't think that the renewables are going to just jump up and say, we got this, we got this, we got this. And don't think there's not downsides to renewables either. Nuclear, yes, nuclear. I'm on board with nuclear. Yes, fusion, fission. So either one, right? But is it fusion or fission that we use all the time? Anyways, the one that exists in large scale, that makes the most sense, honestly. So you get some radioactive byproducts, right? But that's basically the only thing. The reason nuclear I don't think is as big as it should be, or could be, is because of the fallout that they've had, the issue that they've had in the plant, what do you call it? Nuclear breakdown or whatever happened, right? when bad things happen, right, it's a huge deal. Just like if a rig catches on fire and blows up like a condo, right? That's a huge deal, and that really hurts the industry. But it doesn't mean that that it's not still a viable, safe thing. Like I said at the very beginning of all this, it's industrial activity. You're going to have crappy days. Yeah, so nuclear makes sense. Expensive, but it goes a long time. It's not like a well, right, where literally everything a well declines. So we don't have such a lifespan. We only have so much of a lifespan from the nuclear plant too, but it's something different. Anything else, guys? A couple minutes left. I love your perspective, Aaron. You got an interesting perspective. I don't want to talk to someone from England about this kind of stuff. I'm curious what the perspective is over there too. I can imagine you guys like watching all this afar and being like, "This is crazy." And some countries have outright banned it. So, and I think too sometimes it also gets tied together with injection wells. So you get a lot of wastewater from process and just from producing wells in general, especially shale wells. Some reservoirs, not all, make a ton of water. You have to deal with that. If you have to inject it or reuse it, a lot of it's injected into another formation down the road. And so that has been linked in some areas to cause seismicity, reduce seismicity, but that's again very limited. And there's many things that can be done to prevent it, induce seismicity. And I'm actually trying to get somebody to talk on that very topic. Someone from the U.S. Geological Survey Society, whatever, the USGS, who's kind of an expert on that. So I'm going to podcast. He's kind of learn more about induced seismicity and stuff. But there's lots of ways that we can cause it, and it's not just oil and gas that can cause it. Literally everything you do, like whether you're removing oil and gas or putting something in, you're messing with stresses of rock, right? So if it's set up for a rock movement, so if there's a fault in place, Even if your fluid isn't touching the fault, you can still change the stresses of the rock to cause the earthquake. It's rare. It very much is dependent on the geology and your operating practices. So it's pretty rare. Oh yeah. Watch American politics like it's a reality TV show. That's probably about it. Yeah, I'm sure you are probably more connected on politics than I am. So I hear the big things. I see things on the Facebook feed, and kind of keep scrolling. I'm like, oh, okay, keep scrolling. All right, guys, well, it's about the hour mark. I've got to jump off here soon. So thanks for joining. I wasn't sure when I went live. How many people we had a handful. So I don't expect to have a huge crowd on Thursday night, but I'm glad that you guys took the time to join. Please, as always, feel free to reach out and have topic requests or questions. I love questions like this, so time permanent videos if you want to, if that's appropriate. So keep in the loop, guys. Thanks for coming. And yeah, thanks, Aaron. Thanks again, guys, for coming. And catch you in the next one, I guess. Well, I typically say most of these things, but yeah. Aaron, and I assume you guys all know this. Check out the podcast. Obviously, you guys are going to get the videos. Check out our website. So, Aaron, if you're just wanting to get a good rounded perspective of the upstream oil and gas operations and the specifics behind hydraulic fracturing and everything, we have a course that covers all that. So, check that out on our website. You can get it on. So, thanks, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great night, evening. Have a great night or evening, everybody. All right, take care, guys.